Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast. Your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Marvel Monday here on the Stuff and Things podcast. I am Sam, delighted to say, joining me to discuss Disney Plus exclusive Marvel show What If, it's Stefan!
Yo, yo, yo!
How you doing, buddy?
I am good, sir. How are you?
Alright, got a bit of a frog in my throat at the moment. That's better. Hello.
Ribbit.
Yeah, so we're back. It's Marvel Monday again on our podcast, and we're discussing Season 1 of What If. We touched on this on a catch-up show for the podcast a little while ago.
Yes.
So basically, this isn't going to be a long, detailed show. It's an animated series. The basic premise of What If is, what if certain things were different in the MCU? When this was first announced, I think it was probably one of the projects I was most excited about because although being animated, which, you know, I'd obviously always prefer live action, although being animated, I accepted that being animated, it'd give them greater scope to do some crazy stuff.
Yep.
But all the cast members were returning to lend their voices as well, so that was really
most
exciting.
Of them. Most of them did, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Most.
Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, and Chris Pratt, I believe, are the three that didn't.
Yeah, I mean, you can go further, like Batista didn't as well for Drax, but okay.
They were the three big ones,
Chris Pratt did. Chris Pratt's in it.
Is he? I looked at the credits, I didn't see his name.
Yeah, no, I saw an article about it the other day. His voice is in there for something, and but anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yep.
But yeah, so the basic premise was like slight changes. So, you know, if Tony Stark didn't become Iron Man, you know, if Steve Rogers didn't take the super soldier serum and someone else did. So it was kind of like exciting. It was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. In the very first episode, we had Captain Carter rather than Captain America,
which I loved.
Peggy took the serum.
Yeah.
And it kind of, for me, it kind of set this up. But one of the things in the show, what I've done is I've written some bullet points and I've written some discussion points from me and you.
Yep.
So the first discussion point I want to bring up is The Watcher. Going into this show, were you aware of that character in Marvel comics and stuff?
Now,
and also,
go on.
Okay, no, go for it. Go on.
Now, the Watcher is the character who I genuinely always believed was going to be Stan Lee's. I was always waiting for the kind of announcement that Stan Lee was actually the Watcher, which would explain why he is everywhere.
Didn't basically Guardians of the Galaxy 2 hint at that massively?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking it before then, but then that in Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, oh, it's going to happen, and then unfortunately he passed away and it never got to be and stuff. So I knew who the Watcher was. I didn't know a massive amount of detail, so that was quite fun from What If. I kind of feel like What If is almost actually the origin of the Watcher.
So that was the thing I was going to put to you, because they have said, Kevin Feige has said, that the animated show What If does tie into the MCU.
Yeah.
He's basically said that, all of this property, everything we're putting in the Disney Plus, whether it's animated, live action, does tie in.
It's all canon.
It is all canon. So
what?
Now, What If, of course, can sit separately because it's showing us different worlds, different dimensions. It's showing us these different realities, etc.
Yep.
But in essence, it's also in the comic books, nobody's ever really dead. In the comics, someone dies and then all of a sudden someone goes back in time, or someone goes into another reality and brings it. There's all of these different things, and we've seen it once already in the MCU with Gamora. Probably a great example. Gamora is killed. Gamora is back, but from a different time.
Which means Black Widow is possible.
Yeah, exactly. And in this series here, there is a moment where the Watcher brings the Black Widow character and says, "This is a universe that lost its widow," and sort of brings it. So, yeah, it kind of opens the door for continuity forever. It also opens the door for something that I think a lot of people would find it difficult, is that you could have a different person, for example, as Iron Man.
Yeah.
You could have a different... Because in this reality, Iron Man just so happened to be this, or just so happened to be that.
Yeah.
One of the things it does open, and it's something that I've seen rumoured time and time again, and it keeps making me laugh, and I'd love to think they're going to do it, is a lot of people possibly do not know that Captain America was not Chris Evans' first Marvel film.
No, it wasn't.
Chris Evans starred in it's not a Marvel Studios film, by the way, but a Marvel Comics film of the Fantastic Four, and he played the Human Torch.
Yes, he did, and he did it fantastically.
Now, he did that. He then played Captain America. That's his famous role, and he has said he will not play Captain America again. He has not said...
He's not ruled out playing Human Torch.
Yeah, and the rumour is there is going to be, with all the multiverse being cracked open, all of this stuff, there is going to be a Chris Evans cameo as the Human Torch from that Fantastic Four film from all that time ago.
Oh man, it's got to be a scene with someone like Deadpool or something who can just look at the screen and go, "What the?"
You just want it to be a scene where someone looks at him and goes, "Cap." Just without even saying it, just keep looking at him like, "I know you." But
wait a minute.
So what if, in a way, it kind of shows us that there is a I was going to say creature, but there is a character, there is a being that sits and watches all of these realities, all of these things, literally called the Watcher, and is overseeing it all. And now the multiverse has been cracked open in the MCU, in the films.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to see this become even bigger. I think Spider-Man's going to show it happening. I think Doctor Strange 2 is definitely going to... I mean, it's literally called the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So,
something's going to be happening there, we feel,
So it kind of feels like this What If series is actually possibly more important than any of us gave it any thoughts to.
Yeah.
To me, and I think I can speak for you on this, it was like, oh, that episode was okay, that was trash, that was throwaway, alright. But it wasn't kind of like... It wasn't like I needed to see the next episode. Like, a few of them came out and I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch them when I get a minute. There's very few bits in it that I was really, oh, this is awesome or anything. I mean, even at the end, I mean, the zombie episode was funny. And I do wonder if the viewing figures for the zombie episode alone has led to them announcing an animated series for Disney Plus, which is purely in that reality.
Which is going to be strange. So my take on all of these. So the first episode came out on my wedding day, funnily enough, the 11th of August.
Yep.
I will forever know the first date of the What If series.
You hope.
I hope, yeah. And that was the Peggy Carter one, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I watched it the day after my wedding, fairly hungover.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it, and I think I remember messaging you, like, this is brilliant, because there was so much in that episode that happened in the films, but they just switched it slightly.
Yeah.
Like, certain sayings they said to each other, but just that little twist on them. I was like, this is amazing. And then the next week, the next episode came out, and it's T'Challa becoming Star-Lord.
I really love that. That's my favourite one.
Yeah, and I was like, this is great because it's showing. The first one kind of kept it along the same path with a subtle change. Yeah. This one was like a massive change. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is cool. It was fairly emotional hearing Chadwick Boseman doing the voice.
Yeah.
That was a bit like, whoa, okay. But really enjoyed it.
Can I just pick up on one of the things I was going to say to you, like favourite episode or favourite bits, and I've written down T'Challa as Star-Lord and the scenes with Thanos.
Thanos the barman.
Yeah. That
I was going to destroy the world, but this young man took me around.
And people basically teasing him for having this stupid idea for, why didn't you just double the resources, you dumbass?
That's it, yeah. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, great fun.
I would probably agree with you. That was probably my favourite episode of them.
Yeah, it was mine.
It got to episode 3, and that was where Nick Fury's trying to launch them, but they all keep getting murdered.
Did you... I know you didn't like that, and I know you generally didn't like the episodes from that point on, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. It got to that bit, and then from there, it became a thing of like a lot of the Disney stuff. So Wanda, Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
they were Wednesday night must watch. Like the kids went to bed, and we did the bit of housework that needed to be done. Dinner was cooked. We are sitting and watching that program because it is amazing.
Yeah.
These I started watching them Thursdays, Fridays.
Yeah, whenever. Yeah.
I didn't have that kind of, I must sit and watch. Mm. And that surprised me from what I've had from Marvel so far.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that we went into it, I think, again, I can speak for you on this, we both had probably quite high expectations, or both were really looking forward to it. So yeah, I do think that perhaps you're right. You know, one of the things I find in those episodes, like you said about, you know, the ones you didn't like, Nick Fury trying to put together the Avengers, and it was dark. It was surprisingly dark for me. You know, it's an animated show, and here we have a guy whose daughter died, you know, Van Hope, and now he's basically murdering people as, you know, as the Ant-Man. You know, it was dark as hell.
Yeah.
And, you know, and they finally capture him, you know, with Loki and all this stuff. Like I said, I did find there were like bits in each episode. I was like, oh, that's cool. That was clever. That was a smart take.
The idea of Doctor Strange losing his heart instead of his hands.
Yeah.
That was quite a good idea. And then it turned weird.
Yeah, that episode, but the thing that I struggled with is that they didn't do. I was expecting individual stories each week with an individual, like, this is a different universe, now this is a different universe.
Yeah.
So I was expecting each week to be a different take on slightly different versions of events, slightly different things, but they tied it all in. You know, the Watcher was like this permanent tie-in. So, and then by the time you're getting into like the later episodes, basically it's now crossover events where now the Watcher's recruiting a team to fight against the evil version, Ultron, that's now taken Vision. You know, I found it to me it wasn't needed. You didn't need that, but like you said right at the start, which I think is. Like, I had an idea of what the show was going to be, and it wasn't that.
Yeah.
And I think what you said, which is this, I think, is actually an origin story for the Watcher entering the MCU. I think you're right. And I think if you watch it in that context, it makes sense. But the thing that I don't get is, if that's correct, is why have we got a season 2 coming?
Yeah.
I don't...
I know, I think there was 2 episodes... or 1 episode or 2 episodes that got cut from this season.
Yeah.
One of them is about Gamora.
Yeah.
But it's Gamora, daughter of Thanos. So it's obviously that'll be an episode of what if Gamora doesn't turn her back on Thanos.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that was meant to be in this because there's a clip of... Is there a clip of her and Tony or something? And the Watcher recruits and he's like, yes, I'm ready. And he goes, no, not you, Tony. Yeah, and gets her instead. And that's a whole episode that we missed.
Yeah.
But even so, I'm like, I don't see what they're going to do for another, like, 8 to 10 episodes.
No, I mean the thing is the multiverse being cracked open in the MCU. Season 2 could well actually be a massive tie-in. You know, it could be
what happens in each of the multiverses, or
you know, this has happened. So what happened there? I mean, we haven't got a clue, and they'll announce stuff, and you know, you can just imagine how people would react. For example, if you know Andrew Garfield and co are suddenly going to be voicing characters in a What If episode, people would lose their minds.
Yes.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire to star in What If Season 2, yeah, people would go mental.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's fine. You know, or you get, you know, Ryan Reynolds to Deadpool will appear.
You know that he would jump on that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, if the money's right.
Yeah.
he ain't daft. He's making hay while the sun shines at the moment, that guy.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was all linked. The episodes are kind of really. I think I think you could sit in a room with 10 people who.
Yeah.
I think you could sit in a room 10 people who are Marvel fans, put the same episode on, and I think you get 10 opinions. Do you know what I mean? It's like really
Very
odd.
much so. Very much so. And like the idea of having the Infinity Ultron.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Yeah, I'm more scared of that guy than I was of
Thanos arrives and he just kills him straight away.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in it that's funny, and I don't know if it was meant to be funny. Like, that was hilarious to me, because I'm like, okay, we had like 20 films, all these heroes, all these people battling, and they lost. Are you telling me that literally Vision could have just walked up to him and whoop, in half, dead?
Yeah. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's as bad as, you know, Wong, Strange. Why didn't you just do your little portal thing on his hand? Yeah, you know, you're literally trying to pull the glove off him. Why don't you just portal it away?
Oh,
anyway.
that scene was so annoying. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's not open that can of worms 2 weeks in a row.
So that is What If. I mean, there isn't a great deal more to say about it, so we're not going to spend, you know, an additional 20 minutes dragging it out. If you haven't seen it yet, but sort of check this out because you're a fan of the podcast, do give it a viewing. I know we're not selling it, but I do, like I said, I do genuinely believe you're a Marvel fan. You could watch this and have a completely different take-in version of it than us.
Completely. Like, I like the idea of the zombies. I like the idea that they're bringing out a zombie show. Yeah,
I mean, that was such a well-liked comic.
Yeah, that was a big arc they did. They loved that. Yeah. I liked the kind of Killmonger, the fact that he kind of manipulates Tony Stark into his own bits without telling anyone. But then at the same time, at the end of that episode, Black Panther's sister and Pepper are like, yeah, we must take him out. We never see what happens.
No,
I think that was the other thing.
Things to wrap up.
Each episode kind of finished on a bit of a cliffhanger and then never went back to.
Yeah.
And I can't tell if that was great or really frustrating.
Yeah. I think, again, one person thinks it's great, one person's frustrated. But yeah, it was it's interesting from the point of view of, I would like to see, you know, Kevin Feige said this definitely ties in, it's definitely linked, so I would like to see how that works.
The Thanos, the only child Thanos, that could be fun to see.
Oh, wow.
In Thor, wouldn't it? This is good Thor, this is Thor. Okay.
Yeah, no, that'd be hilarious. That'd be a conversation to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's it. That is What If Season 1. We are back every Monday discussing Marvel for the foreseeable future. Hawkeye is up next. The Disney Plus exclusive live action film. It looks like it's going to be an absolute Christmas fest. Hope you will join us for that.
2 episodes drop at once as well.
Yeah, we will be covering those in a podcast and then doing it episodically, weekly as they drop. We'll also have a Christmas special this year where we're just going to discuss Christmas films.
Ooh!
And all sorts of fun and frolics like that, because me and this man talking to me right now, we have a general disagreement over Elf. He hates Will Ferrell. I think it's a classic.
The bloke is as funny as roadkill. Yep.
We will discuss it at length in our Christmas special. But until then, everybody, take care. We'll be back soon for Marvel Mondays. Always check our website. Always check the socials for other things we're discussing. Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and the Walking Dead World Beyond. You'll catch our shows for that as well if you're a fan of that universe. But until we speak again, everyone take care.
What if this isn't the end of the podcast?
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.